Hi, welcome to Crappy Media Reviews. I'm the Crappy Media Reviewer, and today I'm going to talk about Action 52, one of the worst games of all time. It's a multi-card with 52 games in one. It wanted to have a comic book series and a cartoon based off of one game called Cheetman. It was also supposed to have a game console called Action Game Master that could play any game from any console released at the time, but all of those ended up getting scrapped after the game bombed. Development started when leading man Vince Perry saw his son play a Chinese multi-card with 40 games in one and thought that he should make an American version of that but with more games, so he launched a company called Active Enterprises and hired 4 inexperienced developers to create the game. The game also had a Genesis version which I'll get to later. But that's about it for the development history of the game. Now let's talk about the game itself and many of its problems. The graphics. While the animations are mostly smooth, the graphics look awful and often seizure-inducing, with all of the backgrounds making no sense at all and also having multiple recycled sprites. Some of the titles are also inconsistent and misleading, like Hambo, which is actually called Hambo's Adventures. The difficulty is inconsistent, such as with Boss Power, where the first level is almost impossible, while the game gets easier as it progresses. Some games are heavily glitched, like Starry Wolf, where bosses often refuse to show up. Most of the music is either forgettable or terrible, save for Cheetman. The weapons are either stupid like a giant lollipop in Lollipops or a gun you can't use in Boss. You also get no reward for completing any of the games. There are also no continues or checkpoints in any of the games. The sound effects are also cringe-inducing, like the jump sound in Lollipops. Some games often crash or don't load at all, even on emulators. If you play the game on an NES for more than an hour, the cartridge begins smelling like burnt plastic. The game also inexplicably cost $199, which just shows that they were doing a quantity over quality thing here. The collision detection is horrible, with games like Bubblegum Rosie having no collision detection at all. The music in the opening is a plagiarized version of It Takes Two, the controls are unresponsive and barely work, there are 10 filler space shooters, and the manual also has very short descriptions of the games. But now, let's talk about some of the good qualities of the game. The music of Cheetman, like I said, is really good and the intro is fun too. And like I said, the animations are mostly smooth. So overall, I'd give Action 52 a 1 out of 10. Stay tuned to the next review where I'm going to talk about the Star is Blossom, one of the most infamous episodes of the Powerpuff Girls reboot. See ya!